It's not till about, I don't know, at least 400 or 500 AD that the name Christian really takes off. Constantine and so on and all before is referring to crestian, and crest is associated with a good person. Geographically, what we might locate as Serbian, ancient view of religion, not Hebrew or Greek, not Egyptian. The story of Jesus is developed in the context of geographically, the Holy Land, probably in North Africa, being the real center of Judaic people. What we think of as the time of Christ, we're talking about 5 million, possibly, Hebrew-type people in the world. Largest city, probably Alexandria, northern Egypt. People like Philo, who are Gnostically interpreting the Old Testament. Philo not knowing anything about Jesus, despite being contemporary. Justin Martyr not knowing anything about Paul, St. Paul, or not mentioning him in the stuff we have of his. Paul more, he's the absolute idol of Marcion, the Gnostic, wealthy chap who develops what I think is probably the Antioch view of Christ. Gnostic and, I think not a physical person, but very much along the lines of what we have in John's Gospel. It's the spiritual truth of something, not what we have in the Synoptic Gospels, which is the literal historic type truth approach. And the tension between these two existences, Constantine being moved by the notion of himself being solar invictus. Crestian is this sun god view. When Constantine has the sort of his cross symbol in the sky on one side, the coin, his face on the other, solar invictus, he's perhaps not backing two horses. He's seeing it's the same, it is one religion, one view. The Christianity that he's taking on is the Christianity, not the what comes of his mum seeking out the cross in the Holy Land. She, in effect, fuses the two together. And in the unfolding of history, we then get the name shift from crestian to Christian, and the literalism takes over in the Roman Church. Which then looks back on Constantine as rather doubtful, in the hundreds of years that then follow, as the religion hardens into Christianity as we now know it. But Christianity is far, far older, and far more in keeping with the North European ancient religion, traces of which are in Druidism and so forth. The tree worship, the cross is really a tree. It's the tree of life. It's a far more spiritual religion in that it's not a literalism, it's a Gnosticism based on ancient myths and tales. So the roots of Christianity are really in all the religions of the known world and the not so well known. And Christianity is a particular outcome of this massive development. But I think it's the case that the spirituality is what has survived the test of time. So you can pick up the Christian religion and still come through, so to speak, to know God as a God of loving kindness and creativity, of goodness, of the qualities that, well, in fairness, have always been held: integrity, honesty, harmlessness, goodness, blessing, kindness, creativity, care, loyalty, grace, forgiveness. It is these qualities, these values, which have survived through whatever the texture of the current religion and practice has been. And despite its moulding in the world, that the Gnostic truth, if you like, has still endured, is still there. It's God's way of eternally achieving what He will achieve, which is to, as I understand it, bring up children into His fantastic family, the heavenly host. Thank you, Heavenly Father.